Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. My name is Nuarina binti Batiar and my metric number is 272846. So today I and my friend would like to tell you guys a story about a serial killer named Ted Bundy. Do you guys know about this guy? So let me tell you about him. Ted Bundy is American serial killer and rapist, one of the most notorious known to have killed at least 36 women in 1970s and probably earlier. Ted Bundy's real name is Theodore Robert Bundy. He was born on 24 November 1946 in Burlington, Vermont, United States. He grew up to be a charming, articulate, and intelligent young man. It all started around the age of 3. He started fascinated by a knife. He actually a shy but bright child. Bundy also did well in school but not with his peers. At the time he was teenager living in Washington, Bundy already exhibited signs of sadistic serial. He was regarded as handsome and also charismatic, so that's what made him win the trust of his victim and society. Ted Bundy has a wife named Carol Ann Bone and is blessed with a daughter named Rose Bundy. Did you guys know that Ted Bundy was a university student? Yes, he is. Bundy was a normal man who are actually good in study. He graduated from the University of Washington with a degree in psychology in 1972. While studying at the university, he fell in love with a wealthy, pretty young woman from California named Elizabeth Clover. Unfortunately, later on, Clover was among the first person to report Bundy to police as suspect in the Pacific Northwest murder. The first known attack that he attempted was not an actually murder, but an assault on 18-year-old girl named Karen Spock, a student and dancer from University of Washington. Ted Bundy also being a part of so many different campus community, which will give him ample opportunity to study the habit of female codes, who were among his most common target. Ted Bundy confessed to 30 homicides that he committed in 7 states between 1974 and 1978, but the true number of the victims is still unknown. He is a serial killer who kidnapped, raped, and murdered many young women and girls.
A judge in Miami today followed the jury's recommendation and sentenced Theodore Bundy to die in the electric chair for the murder of 2 co-eds. Bundy is the 136th person under death sentence in Florida. Ed Rabel reports.
Before pronouncing the sentence, Judge Edward Cowart let Bundy make a statement.
I'm not asking for mercy, for I find it somewhat absurd to ask for mercy for something I did not do. So I will be tortured for and will suffer for and receive the pain for that act. But I will not share the burden for the guilt.
In imposing sentence, Judge Cowart cited the savagery of the crimes and what he called the indifference of the defendant.
This court, independent of, but in agreement with, the advisory sentence rendered by the jury, does hereby impose the death penalty upon the defendant Theodore Robert Bundy.
Then, in an unexpected move, perhaps an afterthought, Cowart stunned the courtroom with some parting words for Bundy.
Take care of yourself, young man.
Thank you.
I say that to you sincerely. Take care of yourself. It's a tragedy for this court to see it's such a total waste, I think, of humanity that I've experienced in this court. You're a bright young man. You made a good lawyer. I'd love to have you practice in front of me, but you went another way, partner.
Bundy says he'll appeal. Meanwhile, he has been ordered to the state prison to await setting of the date of his execution in the electric chair. Ed Rabel, CBS News, Miami.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Didi Narisa binti Muhammad Fauzi. Are you wondering what did he do to his victims? Let's take a look what kind of notorious criminal he have done. Ted Bundy's next victims and his first confirmed murder was Linda and Haley, another University Washington student. A month after his assault on Karen Sparks, Bundy used the same method as he does to the first victims by broke into Haley's apartment in the early morning, knocked her unconscious, then clothed her body and carried her out to his car. She was never been seen again. But what shocked me the most for his second victims is, years later, a part of her skulls was discovered at one of the locations where Bundy dumped her body. Afterward, he becomes more addicted to all his criminal. Bundy continued targeting female students in the area. He developed a technique where he approached women while wearing a cast or appearing otherwise disabled and asking them to help him put something in his car. Bundy liked to use the same method as he would bludgeon them unconscious before binding, raping and killing them and dumping their bodies in a remote location in the woods. This is what gives me a chilly feelings and creeps me out that Bundy would often revisit this site to have sex with their decaying corpse. In some cases, Bundy would decapitate his victims and keep their skulls as souvenirs in his apartment and would sleep beside these skulls. Isn't this creepy? I know some of you wanted to know more and more, so let's go deeper. Over the next 5 months, his notorious criminal continued and he started to abduct and murdered 5 female college students in the Pacific Northwest. These women have been disappeared at the rate about 1 per month. There was no significant physical evidence and the missing woman had a little in common apart from being young, attractive, white college student with long hair part in the middle. On February 15, 1978, he was arrested in Florida, admitted to raping and killing over 30 women and girls. Ted Bundy also suspected of having committed further 20 murders. Later on, he was convicted on July 1979 and sentenced to death. As my partner mentioned earlier to his education, he was a normal person. Ted Bundy, who hasn't hanging out at the bar, pervert in the sense that someone could look at him the bad way. On his interview, a day before he was executed, he talked about what led him to do all of this. He was generally experienced with pornography that deals with violent level and he became addicted to it. He says that serial homicide shows that the most common interest among serial killers is in pornography. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chairs. Ted Bundy's death execution were famously a national event for onlookers outside the prison gates and millions of viewers watching from home. After that incident, his wife Carol Ann Boone left Florida for Washington. They also has changed their name. The story of Ted Bundy's serial killer is also told in a movie titled Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, acted by Zac Efron as Bundy.
So, let's watch the movie trailer.
There are things you don't know
Hi, officer. I think I must be lost.
that will shock you beyond your worst nightmare.
I am innocent. You don't actually believe this garbage, do you?
It's in all the papers, Ted.
Monkey! Oh!
How did his name get on that suspect list? I want to come see you.
I was really hoping you'd say that. This case is about catching a monster. Ladies and gentlemen, I am that innocent suspect.
You are skating on thin ice, partner.
The media has convicted Ted before he's had his day in court.
I'm gagged, and you're not.
I wonder whether he did it or not.
I'm more popular than Disney World.
Did you do these things?
Absolutely not. Let me get back to plotting my escape here.
So that's all from us today, the story about American serial killer Ted Bundy. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.